Community service is super important when it comes. Again, for those of you that just walked in, if your kid is going to actually go to a school like Stanford, you need to make sure that they're involved in leadership. Start your own leadership group at school. Make sure that they're volunteering after school. The average hours are 250 to 300 hours over your kid's high school career. And your personal statement is really the maximum amount of time that a admissions officer is going to spend on your kid's application. They have about 3.5 minutes, okay? They're going to look at your GPA. They're going to say, did you take any AP classes? Did you take any honors classes? They're also going to take a look at your SAT or ACT scores. Girls score 15% higher on the ACT, by the way. So that's something that you really want to be aware of. And then also the brag sheet. I know as a college planner, we want our brag sheet to really wow an admissions officer. When the admissions officer takes a look at that brag sheet, they're like, wow, this kid is part of school government. This kid is playing sports. This kid is volunteering after school. This kid started their own leadership club. This kid is doing this. This kid is doing that. Guess what? That application generally will get flagged. And what I mean by flagged is they're going to take that application and say, wow, I want this kid to come to my school. He goes in a stack over here. Then they go to the next one. They may go into a stack that may be wait list. But you want your kid to be over here. So this is a little tip. It's a lot more than just getting good grades. Okay, if they're just getting good grades, you'll get into a good school. But a school like Stanford, 1/3 of their admission criteria is the things that I just spoke about. I have one gentleman that owns a corporation, and he has actually 5 corporations. And he has the value of them in reality is a couple $1 million, and his kid is going to UC Davis for absolutely free. Because we used a strategy that is not known to the public, and I'll go over that, and I'll tell you what it is in a minute. But income too high, grades too low. The higher your GPA, the more money you're going to get out of these schools if you do the community service to go along with it. Own a home. There are 2 things that are exempt from the financial aid formula. That's your home equity, okay, and the federal methodology. There are 2 methodologies. The federal methodology, which covers 90% of the colleges in America, your home is exempt, and your 401k, retirement, IRAs, all that, they can't count that against you. So don't worry about that. That's something you can't be counted against you. Now, anything else that you have can be counted against you. What we do as college planners is we have software that gives us the numbers of schools, any school in the country. We know, we can go right in and take a look. Now, this is one of my families that went to, one of my kids that's in Princeton right now. And typical 6-figure family, completed FAFSA. The initial family contribution was $25,231. That meant that their need or their gap was $27,588. Okay? Well, I told you most schools are going to cover probably 50% of that, so you have to add 50% of that to this. That's your number. The students that we work with that are in middle school are students that they're being tracked. And what I mean by that is there's a program called Naviance. Naviance is the premier career counseling program in the country. It's $25,000 per school, but what it does, it puts your kids on track to go to college, and at a young age, they have an assignment that they have to do on a weekly basis. And these schools, what they're doing, they'll be tracked by schools that are going to give endowment scholarships. This particular gentleman gave $115 million to the University of Arizona Law School, which now bears his name, of course. CSS Profile is the institutional supplemental application that you will have to complete if your kid is going to go to Stanford, USC, Occidental, any of the Ivy League schools. Most of your East Coast schools, they want that supplemental application. Complete it. It's a bear. It asks you everything. It asks the kid how much are your grandparents going to give you. What's the right answer to that? 0. College planning, big numbers are bad. Not time to brag about how much equity you have.